The first day of the third and final Cornhill Test match between England and New Zealand, this one at EDGBASTON, and almost on cue, as the word cricket was mentioned yesterday, the rain swept across from the west of the country, and it was still raining at EDGBASTON this morning. So much so that play couldn't begin until 2:45 in the afternoon. These were the teams announced once the captains and umpires had got down to the serious business of the day. England brought in Chris Lewis from Leicestershire to make his debut in Test cricket. Out goes Philip de Freitas, who has a gastric attack. And New Zealand, they have a problem with Ian Smith, the wicketkeeper, who sustained a hamstring injury in training the other day. And Adam Perori comes into the side, also making his debut. Well, the toss between the two skippers, John Wright and the England captain, Graham Gooch, resulted in a win for New Zealand. Once again, they put themselves into the field and asked England to bat. Here's the fifth ball of the first over now. Graham Gooch is taking strike to Sir Richard Hadley. No runs are on the board.
When we look at it, that was a little bit wide by the time he played at it. Certainly a bit of movement there for Hadley.
Single to get off the mark, and that's a good over from Richard Hadley. That's the one run on the board. Sharp in pace, again Richard Hadley. It's a vulnerable area for Danny Morrison. I reckon the runs taken off him at Lord's about 45–50% came from that area down through the gully down to the third man. There's a couple there for Michael Atherton, who wants to come back to the second.
Tremendous battle with Richard Hadley on the final day of that Lord's Test match. Caught off a no ball before he'd scored in the second innings, and also dropped by Smith. But I think it was a great experience for the young man to have to play against such a great bowler.
Two more to Atherton. Well, three consecutive deliveries from Hadley on leg stump. Provided 5 runs for Michael Atherton.
Well bowled here. Movement off the seam. Ball only just carrying to Perori behind the stumps.
Those flags were showing to give you an idea of the way the breeze was blowing. That's a rather unusual looking New Zealand flag up there. It's very well bowled.
Yes, a little bit of movement off the seam there, almost opening Atherton out. Playing that wider mid-on to begin with.
The last 4 balls have all gone down round about leg stump. I can only assume that he's trying to bowl an outswinger and it's simply not swinging. Tony Morris. 4 wickets at Lord's in one of the innings. No ball called by umpire John Holder. That's beaten Franklin. He'd rather got him on the wrong foot as he was coming across there. But for one moment as he was going to try to pick it up, realised he was wrong-footed and it was too late to dive because the timing was pretty good from Graham Gooch.
Yes, although he hit it firmly into the ground, he hit it so powerfully. Franklin there, just as Richie said, on the wrong foot, and he wants to look after himself a little bit because he's got a damaged finger. He doesn't want to start diving around because his job's to bat.
To Atherton. But so far, with the exception of that square cut by Gooch, most of the bowling's been down the leg stump. It's 20 for no wicket. That's the sort of day you want a cold salad. Atherton's picked up 4 from a good delivery. That one significantly was round about off stump and posed the batsman many more problems.
Well played by Atherton. He dropped his wrists as he was playing at it and managed to keep the ball down, but it was an outside edge. Somewhat fortunate to get 4 runs for it.
Well, there it is, leg stump again. Although they have up here what they call the brumbrella, one goes, cover that goes right across the ground as you're looking at it from right to left. Covers are housed away on the right. Even though that was used and kept the ground dry, just 1 or 2 little dampish patches. Far and away the shot of the day so far. Lovely timing.
He just lowers himself just before the bowler lets the ball go, and it seems to have got him much better balanced.
The bowling's been just a little bit offline so far, and the batsmen have plundered at the tune of 32, and we're only into the 8th over. I'm looking forward, Tom, to the battle between Terry Alderman and Graham Gooch again in Australia. As I know Graham has been working on that problem he had with Alderman, where he was playing across the front foot, and it's all okay now, but will it be all right against Alderman again?
Well, that's right. I think the difference is here that with the exception of Richard Hadley, who gets in close, no one else in the New Zealand attack gets quite as close to the stumps. And that's where Graham Gooch has his problems, but he doesn't have any problems with the half volley outside the off stump. He just pushes it firmly straight through the gap between the bowler and mid-off. He's certainly looking in very, very good nick at the moment. But we're getting the first change in the attack. Martin Snedden is going to replace Morrison.
That's a lovely shot by Graham Gooch. Nice way to bring up his 5,000 runs in Test match cricket. Only 10 England players ahead of him in the aggregates in Test matches after that stroke.
Yes, no real power there, just a turn of the wrist, the ball just running on, just missing leg stump. Gooch just turning it away through mid-wicket. Been a problem for the New Zealand bowlers. When it's windy like this, it doesn't swing around as much as when it's heavy and still, and when the ball straight, the ball hasn't moved, and the ball off stump just outside, they can get that little bit of movement.
For more. The Gooch is in form. Nice to see. 44 for no wicket.
Was a better one. Hurried him through.
Yes, whenever Hadley gets it roundabout off stump to Atherton, he does make him struggle a little bit, and I think it's mainly because he's getting him a little bit too far turned round. He gets a bit chest on, and that right shoulder's coming forward. You can see it here again. He got completely turned round again there. Not a delivery that he should have got turned round, because it was always roundabout off stump.
Snedden. I should think he's in for quite a heavy workload on this pitch. Handsome shot. Be worth 4.
A fine stroke here by Atherton. Foot right to the pitch. Lovely follow through. That left leg bent into the shot so it keeps it down. Really the perfect cover drive there. Snedden, of course, I think will be far happier bowling from that far end, the city end. Wind will then help him to bowl an outswinger, which is his main ball, mid delivery. He'll be struggling to do it from this end.
Big appeal well forward, bat and pad together. England 50 with that single from Gooch, not coming up in 47 minutes. Well fielded, stood his ground. Was played quite firmly. And Andrew Jones standing his ground. Usually a batsman goes back on his heels when he sees fieldsman when the batsman is on the front foot, but an alert piece of fielding. Now Hadley to Gooch. Well, that's one of those tentative shots around off-stump area, which the bowler's done everything right. The batsman's got 4 runs. The double danger about this put-in, Ray, is firstly whether the ball's going to do anything under those dry conditions, other than the fact it had been covered, it was doubtful. And secondly, what will happen to the surface over 5 days?
As I said, New Zealand do have 5 left-handers in the side, with the Priest not playing this match, which would certainly help Eddie Hemmings if the ball did start to spin a little.
No ball. The end of the over. England now 58, 8 off it. Putting the boot in. Well, we've heard it in one sport. More. Nicely timed. The end of the first hour, and we've had 16 overs, so it's been pretty good progress. Now, as we thought, Hadley rested, Morrison back.
Is the ball dead or not? I don't know, Danny Morrison. I don't think Barry might. Yes, he's just called dead ball, but I suppose for a moment that you can run out and bash it.
Four runs.
Ah, then Tom Graveney, did that man do well on his birthday to win the toss and to decide to field first?
That's a lovely shot. And I think that probably answered your question, Tony. That short one outside the off stump, Atherton moving beautifully across, getting right on top of the ball, cracking it square for 4.
End of the over. 80 for no wicket. Richard Hadley again. 8 overs for 25 so far, and surprisingly for Hadley, quite a few down the leg side. It's an interesting method of fielding. There's certainly nothing wrong with it. He gets down and slides and then comes up almost instantly in perfect throwing position. That's pretty good. We were talking a moment ago about John Bracewell and the fact that it would at least be useful to find out if the ball's turning. Either he's been told he's about to have a bowl or he's trying to catch John Wright's eye. A prolific scoring stroke in this series. Straight down between third slip and gully. No third man. 4 runs every time.
Yes, I think it's quite right to try it when the covers have been a long time. If nothing's happening for the seam bowlers, there's always a possibility because of a bit of dampness on the top that it may make the ball grip sufficiently for a spinner. And it's always worth a try for a couple of overs. You've nothing to lose. Certainly it's not done very little for the seam bowlers. It's worthwhile seeing what happens to the spinner.
Now it is to be John Bracewell. He's going to come in from the pavilion end. Well, I think we can say that there is some turn there.
Well, John Bracewell won't be loose yet. His fingers will be a little bit stiff, but he's certainly getting that ball to go off the straight. Well, that certainly turned a good 6 inches, so there's plenty of encouragement there for the spin bowler anyway.
That third slip now has gone to fine gully. No ball called.
I think John Wright will be probably quite pleased to see that ball turn a little, because there's nothing happened for the seamers, and really that would give him that little bit of encouragement. At least his slow bowler can play a major part in his attack. No turn there, and the off-spinner not doing anything, and he really would have been in trouble. But it means that the off-spinner can play a major part in the attack now for the rest of the day.
So all set for the first ball after tea. Spin again from John Bracewell. Michael Atherton on strike. A loose delivery. And that will be his 50. Not where he intended. Carried off exactly 100 balls. Sir Richard Hadley now coming in for the start of his 12th over. He's bowling to Graham Gooch. Right bang on the spot, and some movement there for Hadley.
Yes, a super first delivery. Just bouncing, actually.
Certainly 2 for Gooch. No ball. 4 runs into the bargain, brings the 100 up for England. A slower second 50 than the first. This one's taken 19 overs, the first one 13. Hadley now to Gooch. Oh, did it carry? I should think it just about did. It was a good effort to get down to it. Most difficult one for a pace bowler, back to his right. Down he comes again, and that's his 50. Splendid innings from Gooch. It's the end of the over. He's got there out of England's score of 110. Oh, Gooch opened the face. No ball it was, but I think he was playing the shot anyway. Full length. Gooch possibly playing it squarer than that. Still worth 4. Hadley to Gooch. Oh, beautifully timed. Don't B4.
Lovely shot by Graham Gooch off his legs.
Conditions, I don't think they're all that good for bowling. It's not quite right as a breeze for John Bracewell. Maybe better for him to come from the city end instead of the pavilion end from which he's bowling at the moment. Beautifully timed by Atherton. The breeze also has not been in favour of the faster bowlers. Been a good solid partnership from this pair. Atherton has had quite a bit more of the strike than Graham Gooch, 142 to 119 balls. Single off that, but Danny Morrison was no balled as well. Another no ball called. Don't bother chasing that. It's a cracking stroke. Been quite a good summer so far for Michael Atherton. 150 up at Trent Bridge, 50 at Lord's, 71 not out here. And in a county championship match the other day, he continued his good form, making runs and taking 4 for 23 with his leg spin. That man who was wide at third man was too wide to chop that off. Certainly got a fierce gust of wind across the ground there, and it's even moving the side screens around.
Martin Snedden, he'll, I think, enjoy bowling from the city end more than he has from the pavilion end. At least the wind is helping his away drift.
Well, there's quite an appeal there. Graham Gooch moving around the crease quite confidently, believing the ball to have just nicked the pad.
This is ball moving off the pitch, just flipping the pad by the knee roll.
Oh, cracking shot. Beautifully planted between mid-wicket and mid-on, and that's 4 runs. And the 150 comes up.
A really super shot, this from Gooch. Flipped away, through straight mid-on, half volley on the leg stump.
Atherton and Gooch, 76 to Atherton and 72 to Graham Gooch. Well, they're having some trouble keeping the perimeter advertising up right there. It really is blowing quite vigorously out there now. Well, there's an appeal. Nothing to appeal for. Might just have got a bottom nick on that. It's a couple of runs. And it's rather sweet to have the area of Edgbaston so close to the city centre. Edgbaston, all the trees and parks. Cracking shot. He's really been looking to play the shots, no doubt about that. He left onto that half volley. Just to repeat that play goes on this evening until 7 o'clock. It's a bit chilly out there, though, for those New Zealand fielders. Spectators, too. That's a lovely shot. I think that Graham Gooch is really looking to create a victory situation here for England. He's been looking for shots off every ball for the last 15 minutes now. That's a better shot. Too much for Richard Hadley at point. But they've run 4. Warwickshire emblem, the bear and ragged staff. And that's very close indeed. He's given him out. Well, maybe he won't retire just yet, because Martin Snedden has struck. New Zealand take their first wicket at 170. Michael Atherton is out for 82. Lovely way to get off the mark. Well, Alex Stewart suffered injury. He missed the last match. Surrey's last match against Glamorgan. Played a one-day match in the second team. Comes out and creams it.
Yes, he's had a long wait. He's been sat in the dressing room for quite a few hours.
There he goes. That's the one he's waited for. Only a little short arm jab, but it's everything. 6 runs.
Well, again, it was a straight delivery. Roundabout off stump. And Gooch just picking it up with the spin, with the wind, everything in his favour, and going flat for 6 over mid-wicket.
New Zealand have got on with it, and so have England. A run rate of over 3. 7 o'clock finish. Well, Gooch is not holding back at anything, even though there's just 15 minutes left for play. He's in a very positive mood.
Yes, a bit short and wide and looking to chop it away to third man. Didn't really stay on the ball long enough there.
There's the England dressing room in the background. Richard Hadley back. An interesting battle to keep Graham Gooch away from 3 figures if they can tonight, New Zealand, and then try and work on him in the morning. There's his career performance for England. 78 test matches. This is his 78th. Hard hit, but down. Looking for 2. My word, that's close. And Gooch going for 2. Flat out from the start, just making it.
Yes, this will be interesting to see what a direct hit would have caused, and I think it might have well been goodbye Mr. Gooch with a direct hit.
That was the ball being played hard and down and to the left of gully. Good shot from Stewart. Outfield's quickened up, and that shows the impact of this large cover here, because little of the rain has got onto that part of the outfield, and that was so close to 4.
Yeah, Stewart using his feet nicely here. Got right down the pitch to it. It was a little bit close to his legs, but he let the ball come onto him nicely at the finish, then just turned it through mid-wicket with his wrists.
This offside field, 2 close catches and 3 in the offside ring, makes it difficult. He's down the wicket, milking the single. Certainly get 1 more over after this, and maybe 2. Very positive batting exhibition from the England captain. And there's a useful delivery. Bright sunlight to end this day with.
Well, Richard Hadley getting that ball to go away. Again, it was just outside off stump and going away. He's done that on a few occasions today, but he's not been able to make it go from middle stump. That's where line he bowls when he's bowling well and the ball's moving.
Final over of the day, England going into it, having been put into bat. 191 for 1. Graham Gooch has batted throughout the innings from when play started at 2:45, just 5 runs short of what will be his 9th 100 for England. That's 6 off Bracewell. There's an appeal there off the final ball of the day, but that was, I think, a bit of typical Bracewell optimism. Smiles all round.
Well, certainly quite a lot of spin there, but that ball clearly going onto the pad and then just going to slim it off.
It's the end of play, England having been put into bat. 191 for 1 with Gooch unbeaten on 95.
A couple of singles.
Unbeaten on 95.
Yes, unbeaten on 95, and I suspect pouring a glass of champagne for John Wright, the New Zealand skipper, at the end. Normally, it's the man who's having the birthday who gets the presents. Today, he made the present for England. Gooch, 95 not out, Stewart, 8 not out, extras 6, and 191 for 1. No joy at all for the New Zealand bowlers other than Snedden, who got 1 for 39 in 14. Hadley was round about leg stump most of the time today. None for 48 for Morrison, and the same figures for John Bracewell, who got the ball to turn. Everything from the weather point of view was very good when the